realização desse webinar. E hoje, para nós, é um dia histórico, que é um dia em que nós vamos dar concretude, vamos concretizar o sonho de constituir uma sociedade brasileira de cirurgia ambulatorial. Então, como nós tivemos desde o início uma grande apoio, um grande suporte, tanto da Federação Internacional da Associação Internacional de Cirurgia Ambulatorial, que congrega todas as sociedades nacionais de cirurgia ambulatorial, quanto da Associação Portuguesa de Cirurgia Ambulatorial, que é um caso de sucesso no mundo em relação à instituição de uma estratégia de cirurgia ambulatorial. Nós achamos que seria muito importante trazê-los, convidá-los, para trazer esse contexto a todos nós, ou seja, apresentar ao público brasileiro o que é a cirurgia ambulatorial, do que nós estamos nos referindo a respeito. Eu não vou dar aqui um spoiler para todos vocês, ou seja, não vou adiantar os detalhes disso. Quero agradecer aos colegas que vieram, quer dizer, que estão presentes para compartilhar muito dessa experiência com todos nós. Hoje nós teremos uma mensagem inicial do presidente da Associação Internacional de Cirurgia Ambulatorial, professor Douglas McWHINNIE. É um prazer muito grande tê-lo aqui, uma honra tê-lo aqui conosco. A Associação Internacional de Cirurgia Ambulatorial tem feito um trabalho fantástico de congregar, de dar uma unidade nas estratégias de cirurgia ambulatorial em todo o mundo. E nós pretendemos nos candidatar, ou seja, ter a Sociedade Brasileira de Cirurgia Ambulatorial como parte da Associação Internacional de Cirurgia Ambulatorial. Em seguida, teremos mais 4 palestrantes que foram escolhidos a dedo, que vão trazer justamente essa experiência portuguesa muito bem sucedida, consolidada já há mais de 20 anos e que vem crescendo. Eles vão dar números a respeito disso, mas hoje a grande maior parte dos procedimentos cirúrgicos em Portugal são realizados ambulatorialmente. E nós teremos também, para dar esse caráter multidisciplinar que nós queremos, nós achamos importante que tenha na Sociedade Brasileira de Cirurgia Ambulatorial, vai além de simplesmente uma sociedade médica. Ela é uma sociedade multiprofissional, multi e transdisciplinar. Então, nós teremos aqui também a enfermeira Célia Castanheira, que coordena a enfermagem do Centro de Cirurgia Ambulatorial do Porto, o atual presidente eleito da Associação Internacional de Cirurgia Ambulatorial e presidente da Federação da Sociedade Portuguesa de Cirurgia Ambulatorial, o Dr. Carlos Magalhães. Teremos também o Dr. Vicente, um amigo de primeira hora, o grande incentivador da Sobracam, devemos muito a ele, e ele vai nos apresentar um pouco do panorama nacional da cirurgia ambulatorial. Então, é um cardápio vasto. Eu gostaria já de convidar o professor Douglas McWHINNIE para a sua palestra. Todo esse webinar, o conteúdo dele vai ser depois editado. No caso dessa palestra do professor Douglas McWHINNIE, será legendada e disponibilizada aqui no nosso canal do YouTube. E nós esperamos que essas primeiras aulas, essas primeiras palestras sejam o início de muitas outras nesse formato que nós pretendemos disponibilizar por aqui. Professor Douglas McWHINNIE, we're so glad to have you here with us. I was just introducing you for our audience. Now, I would like to invite you to address your speech for all of us. Please, the word is yours.
Thank you very much on behalf of IAAS. And I think the first thing I would like to say is that our thoughts and sympathies are with all our international colleagues who have suffered with COVID, the coronavirus, and wish them all a speedy recovery. Now, for this historic day with this webinar and the first assembly of Sobracam, I'd like to also thank APCA and our colleagues Carlos, Vicente, Celia, and Rui, who are helping us out today, obviously, and are the mainstay of the program. By way of an introduction, I would like to talk a little bit about ambulatory surgery. And the first question is to ask, what is ambulatory surgery? I think the most important thing to say is that it is a pathway and not a procedure. And that this pathway, this defined pathway, avoids an overnight stay. The patient is at the center of the pathway, and it's all delivered by a multidisciplinary team. And this is the skeleton outline of the pathway we all know and love. We have the pre-assessment domain, where we select our criteria and we pre-assess. We have our perioperative care domain, where we plan in advance the admission and the operation. And we have the post-operative domain, where the patients are recovered in the day unit, undergoing same-day discharge. And a pathway is not day surgery unless it follows this recipe. Now, day surgery, ambulatory surgery is not new. James Nicol is the father of modern day surgery, and he is from Glasgow in Scotland, my home city, many years ago. I'm pleased to report I was not alive when Nicol performed his operations at the Sick Children's Hospital at the turn of the 19th, 20th century. And he operated on nearly 9,000 day cases on children because there were no beds. But it was successful. And it took another 84 years before the IAAS was formed in 1995, and we are a registered charity in Belgium and Ghent. And of course, our strapline is to promote the development and growth of high-quality ambulatory surgery worldwide. Now, we currently have 21 organizations from 18 countries in our membership, but none as yet from Latin America. And when the IAAS was set up, we needed a definition for ambulatory surgery, and the definition is an operation or procedure, and that excludes an office or outpatient procedure where the patient is discharged on the same working day. And I would add to that definition that the patient must undergo the specific pathway to achieve this. But our forefathers in the early days of IAAS had foresight, and they understood the difficulties in producing definitions which would apply to the healthcare systems of different nations. And for this reason, we invite member nations to include any necessary interpretation applicable to their own healthcare systems. Now, let me talk a little bit about the work of IAAS. Yes, our showpiece is our international congresses. We have an ambulatory surgery journal published 4 times a year, and we support national congresses as we are doing today with SOBRACAM. We're also involved in benchmarking data from one country to another and within the same country. We have a lobbying facility with the EU, the WHO, and the OECD. And we're involved in publications, booklets, books. There's obviously networking, but most important of all, we conduct training and training workshops. Now, our congresses have been held every second year, international, since 1995, when we held in Brussels. And of course, our last congress was in 2019, very successfully in Porto. Our website, as you know, is already publicizing the SOBRACAM webinar today. That's the front page of the website, taken from the website a few hours ago. We also have a newsletter where we chat about the activities of our national associations and perhaps any major development internationally we all ought to know about. And that's published by the immediate past president, who on this occasion would be Beverly Phillips. We also have our journal and textbook, and the textbook was edited by Beverly, Paul Jarrett, and of course, Paula Lemos from Porto. We run training courses and workshops, and there are many over the years, and the last training workshop was in February 2020, actually in Budapest, as well as 2019. We also conduct research projects, often within the remit of the European Union. And what I really want to say to you today is that the IAAS is a resource. We are an international multidisciplinary team, and in that picture you may see some familiar faces. But we have knowledge and experience, we have information, the website, books, booklets, and the journal. We have training and training courses. And the most important thing is for you to tell us how we can help. And hopefully, in the not too distant future, Sobracam might hopefully join us as the first Latin American country in IAAS. So, on behalf of the IAAS, we wish Sobracam every success in this webinar this afternoon and in your General Assembly. Thank you very much.
Professor McWHINNIE, thank you very, very much for your participation. On behalf of all Sobracam team, my colleagues, I look forward to work with you and with IAAS in the future, and especially maybe to bring to Brazil a Teach the Teachers program. Thank you very much once again.
Okay, thank you.